Whether you keep them in your home or love to see them in theirs, these are the creatures that bring us all together.
Reptiles. We're going to be delving into the experiences of reptile lovers from around the block and around the world. This is the Reptile Talk Podcast. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jeremy Turgeon from Brassman Reptiles.
And I'm Rob, and I'm Creeping It Real.
And today, second episode.
Boom.
Super excited. And we have the one and only Scott Borden with us.
Super pumped.
Scott, what's going on, man?
What's up, cool cats and kittens?
No!
Interview over.
Just want to go on record to say that bitch Carol Baskin done did it.
That's where the interview begins. Come on now.
Truth.
Sorry, I've been sitting here for an hour drinking, and I was like, I gotta fucking say this.
Yes.
Oh man,
Yes.
we'll let it go.
I'm cool with that. I think that's the first time that's been spouted on a podcast, so I'm cool with it.
Okay,
I know.
All right. I'll be okay with it.
Oh.
Shit, dude. So you've watched Tiger King?
Oh yeah.
Oh. How can you not? It's a
you
whole
have
thing.
to.
Yeah.
It's a train wreck. You gotta sit there and watch it. I binge watch it. I had some time off of work for this coronavirus for a week, so I sat down and watched it the other day. It was fantastic.
Whew.
It's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But dude,
I binge watched it too.
Yeah. It was a long night, a long night.
Yeah.
So we want to get right into it, man. So just a little background, like what really like first got you super interested in reptiles as opposed to like other animals? Or were you like just a straight up animal kid, just crazy about everything?
I was an animal kid. I don't want to say like everyone else says dinosaurs. It really wasn't dinosaurs for me, except maybe Godzilla. But
Godzilla.
nah, I was big in animals. I mean, my whole life I was, and I got one of those cool uncles who's like the guy who would teach me how to catch snakes and piss my mom off. So yeah, so he kind of planted those seeds, and then brought me to my first reptile show. Me and my brother, like when we were real young. And
Really?
then, yeah, we have a small local one, and it was just one of those things where he was like, I'll take the kids up to this reptile show. It's just something cool to do. We weren't getting anything. I wasn't gonna buy anything, but I remember him buying like an old school computer screensaver, which I don't even think they do anymore. Where like pictures slide across the screen of different green tree pythons.
Oh man.
Damn.
Yeah, I remember he had it at his house, watching it on his old, super old IBM computer, just scrolling across the screen with all these different old green tree python pictures.
Man.
But so like fast forward a few years, and I wasn't doing so hot in school, and my parents decided to try to make a bet with me to do better. They first tried some ridiculous $5 bet or something like that, $10 bet. And my brother had recently gone on a Cub Scout, Boy Scout trip to a local exotic pet store. And I remember seeing a picture of one of the snakes. It was a ball python. And I'm like, well, if I do better in school and get the honor roll, you got to get me a snake. And to much to their chagrin, they agreed, and I did better.
Damn, stick it to
You're
him.
like, hold the bet. Hold on to the bet.
Yeah, and I got a ball python, and I think things really didn't spiral out of control until I was old enough to drive and go by myself to the pet store and start doing and working and making my own money. That's when shit got real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get to go to my first reptile expo until I was like probably like 10 or 11, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember being like completely overwhelmed. I was like, all these creatures, I've never seen this anywhere besides a book. And I was just like losing my mind, just looking at everything, running around, looking at every table.
I think people don't understand, guys like us, that years and years ago, that's where we saw all the crazy shit was the books. I still have the books where like I saw my first blood python, and saw my first white lip python, saw my first just random lizards, all these old reptile books. That's where we first saw.
That's
shit
badass.
that really
Yeah,
got
I
our mind
remember
going.
seeing a pair of Woma pythons at Manchester, and they were $5,000 each. And I remember just staring at them for like an hour. I was like, Australia to here. How did they get these all the way over here? And I just like stared at them and stared at them and stared at them. And I was like, that is such a freaking cool snake. And then going from like seeing the pictures of like there's a like classic picture of a woma where it's on the red rock. It's like elevated up off the ground. With the Australian outback in the background, and then going from like seeing that to like seeing them right in front of you, I was like, oh man, this thing is like a little piece of Australia right here in New Hampshire. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely a game changer. Books back then. Now everything's online and people just look. It's all the pictures in the groups and stuff. But
I wonder if that's changing how people look at the snakes, because a lot of the first research that I did when I was younger, a lot of the books didn't have pictures of them in captivity. It was them in the wild. So you'd see like a picture of a blood or a short tail in a swamp someplace. You'd see a green tree python in the forest. You'd see, a gaboon viper in leaf litter. And then a lot of the people now who are getting into reptiles are seeing, oh, this person keeps a gaboon viper in a cage in their house. And this person sees, a green tree python in a little sterile environment in like with little 3D printed perches. And I wonder if that like changes how people feel like, towards getting these animals, or like what kind of research they do into them.
Well, that's how we ended up with 3 million keyboard warriors who don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Amen to that.
This week has been crazy for me with all that crap going on right now, so I feel that personally right now.
Yeah.
I've actually calmed down in my older years.
I can't fight with them anymore.
Yeah, I still will somewhat in carpet python groups just because I've been doing that long enough. But I've calmed way down because certain fights just aren't worth it.
Yeah, man. I was looking in the blood python group, and there were some people who are like going off, and all these people whose names I have no idea who they are. They just joined the group this month. They have one blood python. They're like, this snake is obese and you're keeping it terribly. And I'm like just sitting there looking at it. I'm like, that snake looks fine. I don't know what these people are talking about.
Yeah, I saw some of that. The obesity thing is tough because the problem is they hear people like me say stop feeding your snakes, but they think blood pythons are something that nothing grouped in all together. There's uniqueness, You can't feed you don't want a blood python to look like a freaking scrub python.
Some of these people, dude, that's what they want, and it's scary. It's really, really scary.
Well, it goes back. They've never read a book. They've never watched Steve Irwin enough to know what some of this stuff, to see what it looks like in the wild.
Yeah.
That's so true.
True. So going off talking about things in the wild, you went on a trip to, I think it was Costa Rica, and got to see some pretty cool stuff out in the wild.
That was our honeymoon, Costa Rica.
Yes, you got to tell me a little bit more about that, because I saw a picture of a Liasis and I geeked out.
So I'm really lucky. My wife, Jeremy's met my wife a couple times at Carpet Fest.
Mm-hmm.
She being with me was like opening Pandora's box. She loves animals and she loves reptiles, and Christ, she has more animals in this house than I do now at this point.
Oof.
But she's actually part Costa Rican, so Costa Rica was a pretty easy decision for our honeymoon. And so I'm also lucky, like when we travel, it's usually half relaxation, half beach, and the other half is usually like adventure or excursions, herping, whatever.
That's cool.
So yeah, we went. I put the word out and got some feedback from Mike Clarkson and Ray Morgan, who are some names you guys should probably recognize.
Yep.
And they're like, listen, here's who you need to talk to if you want to go herping. And we went to the Arenal Eco Zoo and stayed overnight there with Victor. I'm not going to bother to say his last name because I'll butcher it. But their whole family is just super, super nice, super tons of hospitality. So yeah, we went herping in the Costa Rican jungle for 4 hours at night, with him and his family, and we found eyelash vipers. What else It's funny. I was thinking about this before. His son spoke English. That's how I set the whole thing up. And like, he was apologizing. He's like, it was the dry season we went.
Yeah.
He's like, look, I'm really sorry. Like, it's a slow night. I'm like, slow night? Like, you need to come where I live.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You won't see one snake all day. We've seen 7 snakes in 2 hours. Like,
Ooh,
this is okay, sure, slow night.
Yeah.
But
apology accepted.
Hognose pit viper baby was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
A slug eating snake. Some really cool stuff.
Super awesome.
So, but the cool part of that was he has 2 huge Bushmasters.
Oh, yes.
As pets at the eco zoo.
Oh,
And
man.
so he was like, oh, like when we get back, check him out. So we get back, it's like 12:30 at night. One of the things they do after they herp is they sit down, they like take shots together and like have a nightcap. Like the whole family, like they got food, they got bottles of, tequila and shit. So like, you gotta you gotta respect for your host and sit down there and drink with them. So
Very
here
true.
we are, we're taking some shots, and we were actually getting up at like 5 in the morning or 5:30 in the morning to go drive 5 hours to complete other area of Costa Rica to go see the crocodiles in Tarcoles River,
Yeah.
which my wife set up. I mean, she made the whole, appointment to go out in the tour and all that.
That's awesome.
That was really cool. But so anyway, so we're sitting there. It's like 12:30. We're taking shots, and he disappears. And like next thing you know, I see him walking. Like my wife's sitting across from me. I look behind her, and there he is walking. He's got like this nice little patio set up, and he's got this fucking adult bushmaster. So we had told him, we said, oh, we gotta leave tomorrow. The next day he was gonna have us over, play with the bushmasters, hang out. But when he found out we were leaving, he's like, oh, he's like, apparently he decided on his own we have to do this. So here he comes with an adult freaking bushmaster, and my wife sees my eyes, and I'm like, look behind you. And she turns around, she's like, holy cow. So yeah, we hung out and got to play with the bushmaster.
Man,
and,
those
that's
things are
damn.
intimidating.
It was, dude, I was intimidated. And I've been around a lot of venomous snakes and shit like that. That thing was it was just huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a big animal, but calm, super calm.
Really?
Super calm. Yeah, it's a captive animal. I think he's had it for like 12 years or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I remember watching the Venom interviews and just Dean Ripa talking about like how explosive they could be
Oh, yeah.
with their strikes, and I was just like, oh man, those things make me nervous.
yeah, I mean, I was nervous. I'm always nervous with my wife herping because like I'm one thing, but I'm always careful with her. But yet she's got way better eyes than I do. So here we are walking in the jungle, and I was actually talking to his son a little bit and about what they see, and he's like, it wasn't that long back. He's like, I was walking up here with my girlfriend, and I told her to stop all of a sudden. And she's like, why? I was like, just stop. Well, apparently she had stepped over. There's a lot of farming around, so there was some cattle footprints in the path.
Mhm.
Apparently there was a Ferde lance that was laying in the cattle footprint.
Damn.
And she stepped over it, like on it. Like
Sweat.
covering, you know what I mean? Like the snake is under her foot now.
Instant
Oh,
sweating, man.
man.
Oh my
So
god.
so here we are, and he's telling me this story as we're walking along the trail, like right where that happened. I'm like, oh god, I'm just thinking about all the things I've
I
seen on
stepped
them.
over.
You know what I mean? I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
and then I was like, I have to ask you. I was like, so like, do you have like jaguars around here? He tells me, oh, not that many. He's like, we actually put camera traps up for a college. Like a college
Research program or something?
research project, and he's like, we only saw like 8 in 2 months, eight triggers in 2 months. I'm like, oh, so like common.
Yeah, so like
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
they're
exactly.
everywhere is what you're saying.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, thanks for that.
So the whole rest of the trip you're just like, oh man, just looking over your shoulder.
Fertilances and jaguars. Oh boy.
Yeah, I loved it though. It was really cool. And then, like I said, so we did that, and then the next day we drove 5 hours through Costa Rica to go on the Tarcoles River, where they got American crocodiles that are just everywhere.
That's
That's
awesome.
incredible.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That's a bucket list place for me to go at some point.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah.
That's
Dude, not even the herps there. I mean, it's great, but just everything there. The people are great. The country's beautiful. Like, it's number one on the list for going back to at some point.
Hell yeah.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's so cool. And so you saw lots of cool reptiles down there. I saw that you did some work also previously with sea turtle rehabs.
Oh no, we just went to a sea turtle rehab.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we went to the one in Florida in Jupiter. We were at Southeast Carpet Fest the year before you guys went.
Yeah.
And we went there the one night, and then we went to my buddy lives down in near West Palm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we drove down there, and you guys still there? My headphones just messed up.
Yeah, we're still
we're
here.
still here. We can still
Oh,
hear
okay. But yeah, my buddies who I grew up with, parents live in Jupiter, so we stopped there to visit his family, and then we drove back up from West Palm later in the week and went to the sea turtle rehab place, which was fantastic.
That's awesome.
And yeah, that was cool because we actually learned that I know a couple people that out in Massachusetts and Cape Cod, they rescue the cold stunned sea turtles during the fall and winter.
you. Yeah. I know a couple people who are doing that too.
So a lot of those end up down in Jupiter to
Really?
get rehab.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I had no idea, but we started looking at a lot of these young turtles, and they all had little signs on there saying, where they were rescued, et cetera, and a lot of them came from Massachusetts.
Wow,
That's
pretty cool.
awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know a couple people who go out and help every year. Andrea Hellett, she goes and helps out with.
Yeah, that's exactly who I was thinking of.
Yeah, hey, it is a small world. But yeah, I mean,
ever since my wife saw her doing that, she wants to in the worst way if we weren't like 3.5 hours from Boston.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what? That's not that bad. I mean, I'm just saying, it's not that far.
That is true.
It's not, but I also think when I looked at the website, because I actually had messaged her about it, and there's certain guidelines. I think you actually have to be a resident of Massachusetts, if I'm not mistaken, and a couple other things.
Yeah. And it's a lot of times they're just out there combing the beaches in the freezing cold and they don't find anything.
So what you're saying is you need a North Face jacket and a fake ID.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I know a guy. We can make it happen.
You know a guy.
Great. My wife is going to listen to this and she's going to say, "Oh, we're doing that next fall."
So you work with a lot of different reptiles, and me and you kind of vibe on the scrub python thing because you've got some awesome looking scrub pythons.
Thank you.
And you're pairing yours up this year.
I have for years. It's a
this
labor
is the
of
year,
love.
2020. Everything becomes clear.
Sure, I'd love to say that's true. I don't think I can right now. I don't know. It's man, it's tough. It is tough.
They will drive you a little crazy.
I'll stick to carpets.
Oh, dude, Jeremy, you ain't lying. Dude, I don't even care. Like, I feel bad sometimes. Like, people think I'm just. Some newer people probably think I'm just careless. Like, I pair my jungles and I pay zero attention to them.
Mm-hmm.
Suna laid eggs 2 days ago. I haven't seen the eggs yet.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like, because she's got them wrapped, and I'm letting her do it. I'm letting her MI. She's done it before.
I was gonna say you've let them do it before, so you're gonna do that again this year.
Yeah, she did her last clutch MI, so that was the plan, and she's got them wrapped up so good right now. I can't even see the. I haven't taken the tote out and opened it all the way.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason to stress her out, at least yet. I'll probably do that twice during the 2 months maybe. But yeah, I popped the lid the other day and I can't even see even a single egg in there, so I don't know.
Oh man.
I assume they're good, but that's just how it is. I wish things were as easy as my jungles, but
yeah. So when
I overthink it so much.
Yeah. Oh, I hear that, man. Sometimes it's super easy to do. So the first time you let one of your females do MI, what was like your thought process on that? Was it like I like ran out of room in my incubator and just do it, or was it like I just want to give this a shot?
It was more of the later. See, I'm an old school guy that I fell in love with like weird behaviors of reptiles early on, you know, more so than like how the animal necessarily looked, or at least beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but like, something stupid like cold alluring or, territorial behavior or other things. Like I like stuff like that. So to me, it was just, I breed carpets enough. I was like, I got to try it at some point.
Yeah.
And, dude, I tried it. I'm friends with Jason Bailey and I'm friends with Howard Redding. Both of them gave me a lot of advice on it, which the advice is funny. It's basically like set it and forget it. Like,
damn.
Don't mess with it. Leave it alone.
Yeah, like just leave them alone. Don't mess with it. The only time I'll ever miss a carpet cage is when one's MI, and that's like, I don't know. I might do it once a week, every other week or something like that. Just throw some extra humidity in there to help a little bit.
Yeah.
But, oh, dude, after I did it the first time, I was like, what the hell was I waiting for? This is just so nice. As long as it goes well, as long as the eggs are good, as long as she doesn't leave them or something stupid.
Right,
But
right.
dude, it's you just kind of forget they're in there after you do it a couple times. Like I said, she laid them 2 days ago.
Hmm.
I haven't even seen an egg. I really won't go worrying for 58 days, 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
And then I'll start waiting. Well, actually, my wife will be the one watching every day. She could care less about carpet pythons or certain things that I like until it's baby season. Then that's what she's all about.
Yeah, yeah. That's funny.
But yeah,
I
she'll wake up before me one day. She'll go into the reptile room and she'll do her checks, and then she'll come back in and say, "Oh, there's heads poking out."
That's gotta be
Yes.
so cool. I have yet to have a female do MI. It was something that I wanted to do last year, and then when I moved up to New Hampshire, I was like, I don't know anything about how the quirks of my new reptile room or anything, so I don't want to mess around with that while I'm still trying to dial the room in. But
Yeah, of course.
I'm thinking after this season, now that I've kind of fucking figured it out, I can be like, okay, I'm gonna give this a shot, and I'll haunt this carpet python enclosure every day.
See, last year at Nerd, we let 3 female reticulated pythons maternally incubate, but half the reason why was because we ran out of incubator space. We literally filled up 3 like full size fridges incubators filled up with ball pythons and blood pythons and retics and all this stuff and water monitors. And then we even ran into our backup incubator, which is a 4th stand-up fridge, like a big vault one, and we still ran out of space. And we were like, let's try it with the retics. I don't really see people in the retic community letting them maternally incubate. But we had 3 females that maternally incubated last year, and I think we only had like 1 or 2 eggs go bad out of the whole 3 females.
That's not bad.
It was super great, honestly, and it was really interesting to see the way that things went once the baby started hatching.
Do they shiver, Rob?
They do a little bit. The female that was like closest to the ground, you'd see her shivering every now and again. Not a lot, but every now and again you'd see her do a quick little shiver and readjust herself and pile herself back up on.
Yeah, carpets will shiver. At least jungles will, in my
Mm.
experience. So I think this will be the 3rd MI clutch I'm doing, and all 3 so far I've seen shivering.
Cool.
Yeah.
Not a lot. I mean, not a ton. They're not shivering the whole time, but like you said, like you'll see like every couple minutes or so, there's like just a
Little
quick
tweak.
little shiver. Yeah, a little tweak.
Yeah. My West Poplin girl, my IJ, is winding down on laying eggs right now. And if I had a little bit of a bigger setup for her, I'd probably let her do it. But I'm gonna pull them this year because I'm too nervous. I've been waiting a while. I've been slowly raising her up, and I know the guy who I bought her from has been hounding me for years to get a baby from her because he's like, she's the coolest IJ I've ever seen, and I didn't want to sell her, blah blah blah. And I was like, when I make babies, I'll give you some. And she's just like a really interesting looking animal. So I'm too nervous to try it with her this year. Maybe next time I breed her, I'll let her do it.
Yeah, I've never MI'd IJs. I only had them lay in tubs and then took the eggs from them.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking at this year. And then maybe next time I'll probably move her up into like a 3-foot cage or something.
Yeah, that's what if I did IJs again, I would definitely MI. Like you said, I'd probably put them in like a 3-foot cage and do the same thing.
Let him do it. Yeah. Did you notice any hatch rate differences between artificial incubation and MI?
I mean, I've had pretty good luck, honestly, with my jungles, hatch rate wise, and so I really haven't noticed. I very rarely have that many bad eggs. I might see one slug, maybe 2 slugs, and then maybe 1 bad egg here and there. I have a pretty good hatch rate though, both ways.
That's cool.
Yeah,
It's like I'm already double or triple the number of slugs you are right now.
Yeah, one of the cool things that I noticed about with the reticulated pythons with the maternal incubation is that as soon as the baby started pipping, the mom just like completely just took off. Like she didn't wrap around the eggs at all, moved completely away from the big mountain of eggs that were in there. And then as the babies are pipping, as they're slicing through the eggs, the albumin, the liquid inside the eggs, as it's coming out of the eggs, as the babies are sticking their heads out, it would basically break the seal of the eggs that are stuck together. So as the babies on top are starting to hatch out, the eggs on top would start to peel away, and then the babies that are below could start to hatch and slice their way through. So basically, at the end, it was like the eggs were just like falling and sliding right off. So the ones at the bottom could come out and hatch out, which is pretty cool.
That is interesting.
Wait, you guys actually let retics pip naturally? I didn't know that was a thing anymore.
Could you imagine?
I'm stunned and shocked.
Well, really, what it was after the first one pipped, we just started taking blades and just slicing it.
We took a chainsaw like crazy.
Did you guys pull them out? As soon as you pipped, you cut them open too? Or?
Oh, dude, we pulled them out. We ID'd them. We sexed them. We even set them right up in long boxes, dude.
Nice. Nice.
No, we let them kind of do their thing. When they would come fully out of the egg, we would pull them out of the enclosure. But aside from that, as soon as the mom came off of the eggs, we moved her out and set her up in a different enclosure, but left the eggs inside the enclosure. And then over the
I find that interesting that she left the eggs right away, because carpets, at least with jungles, in my experience, they loosen their coils up and open way up, but they still sit around them. It makes for great pictures.
Yeah.
They still sit over the eggs while they're hatching and pipping out and all that.
Yeah, I felt like it was the first day that I saw heads poking out. I walked in the room because I was doing my morning checks, and I noticed that she was not even close to, her whole front half of her body was on the other side of the 8-foot enclosure. And I'm like, uh-oh, something's wrong. And I go look inside, and it's nothing wrong. It's just the baby sticking their heads out. And I was like, okay. So her tail is wrapped around the backside, and she was just pretty much done with it as soon as those babies started poking their heads out. So we just took her out, moved her separate, and then let the babies kind of do their own thing.
Get me away from these kids.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was a mama retic, I'd be saying the same thing.
Yeah, right. Exactly. These little monsters are going to eat me out of house and home.
Yeah, they're the brats of the reptile community. It's no big deal.
Oh, man.
But so your wife has got some reptiles now. I see you post pictures of the little clemori, those little neon day geckos. Those things are so cool.
Yes.
Yeah, that was my fuck up.
What?
So originally she wanted electric blues.
Yeah, the Ligodactylus, yeah.
Which are cool, don't get me wrong. And so I reached out to one of my gecko buddies and I said, hey, who do I need to talk to get electric blues? So what does he do? He says, hey, ask her if she likes these also. He's like, these are really cool and she might like them better because they do really well in a family unit, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
So I show her and she's like, fuck yeah. I said, so you want those instead? She goes, no, I want both. I said, Chad, you asshole.
I got to blame somebody on this.
I messaged him back. I said, dude, you just screwed me. So I actually, clemori were easier to get at that moment. I got some clemori, and then probably 2 years later, maybe I got her the electric blues finally. So we have both. I love the clemori. Personally, they're probably my favorite gecko.
They're so cool. They're super
cool.
Interesting, man.
Dude, there's the perfect display vivarium species. They're not scared of you at all. There's tons of character. They're just always out going around their business. They'll watch you. When she makes the food, they all come up to the front and watch her make it.
That's awesome.
Electric blues are really beautiful animals, but it seems the males are terrified to be seen.
Yes, they're super shy.
When you're in the reptile room, you're not moving. They're out, and it's oh, nice. But you go over there and try to take a picture, and he's
gone
on the back of the bamboo.
Yep, absolutely.
Any picture you see on my Instagram of electric blue, I had my phone in one hand, and I had to use my other hand, put it around the back of the tank to scare him to the front of the bamboo to get the picture.
Oh,
pretty much.
Sheesh. Yeah, I remember
Literally.
when I worked at Black Jungle, we had some electric blues, and anytime you'd walk past that cage, they were gone.
Dude, they're fast. They're so fast.
Yes.
And she's got 3 or 4 species of gecko that are just stupid fast, and I'm always the one that has to deal with it. Not those. We don't deal with it. The electric blue goes in the cage, and that's it. It's there. But golden geckos, saracenorums, they're pretty fast. Golden geckos are real fast.
Golden geckos are super. I love golden geckos.
Yeah, she's got. I think we have 2 pairs right now, and we've actually had some luck. We had one hatch and we raised it, and then it seemed like it bred too early. It was laying duds, and then she put it with a real small male, and the first time it laid good eggs, it died shortly after.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And we actually just hatched out another baby finally, and it was bad though. It was real small. I didn't like it from the get-go, and man, we tried hard to get that thing to survive, and unfortunately it didn't. But now she's got 2 or 4 more eggs already, so I'm hoping these will do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's
But,
not a lot of people working with golden geckos. People kind of look at them as like, oh, it's a cheap import gecko. But if you like actually, take a look at them and see some of the like the variety in them, they're such a cool gecko. They're so awesome.
Yeah, they're definitely nice geckos, especially when you see them at the right temperature and they're just this bright gold.
Bright gold.
Dude,
And like the light tan. Oh.
Gorgeous animals. It's just they're fast. Oh, I hate fast geckos.
What about tokays? Come on, though.
No, I hate tokays. Only because I've had a couple bulldog. I had one bulldog my shirt years ago just sit there and bite me. I was like in a rush, and the kid put it on me, and then it just bit my shirt for 45 minutes.
Wouldn't let go.
I'm like, dude, I got somewhere to go. I'm like, you're an asshole. Like, why'd you do that? But then my buddy Tyler, locally, he actually has one that he's had for years, and that thing is as tame as can be. Like, it just chills on his hat. Like, he'll wear like a winter beanie, and like they'll just chill in there while he's working. And
That's awesome.
No, we don't have. She's never had any interest in tokay geckos.
Well,
she's mostly
that's
New
good.
Caledonia.
Then, so you don't get inundated with tokays.
No, tokays are awesome.
We don't. I don't. The last thing I need is more. Although she's got like 2 or 3 other day gecko species she wants. I'm like, oh, great.
Standing eye, right?
I don't know. I forget. One's like super rare.
Okay.
One's surprisingly cheap and is somewhat available. Who just had them? Maybe Josh's frogs had like 2 of them. And she's like, oh, they have some. And I'm like, where are you going to put those?
the ever struggle of the reptile keeper.
It's true.
Oh, God.
Where can I put that?
I grew up with, to give you the history on that, I had a fairly decent-sized bedroom, and that's where all my stuff was mostly. There was a point where I doubled in size the amount of shit I had when I worked with the venomous for a little while. And I had... me and my brother, my parents made like I wouldn't call it a playroom, but like an entertainment room. We played poker down there with a TV down there for video games and shit. So that was one of the places I stacked like cages along the wall down there. So I had 2 rooms going at that point. So then our basement actually flooded and had all kinds of water issues. So I didn't keep anything down there after that. So everything was in my bedroom for a long time. My wife moved in. She ended up with a gecko corner and a couple of her own snakes. Well, when she was my girlfriend. And then it's funny, we got married and bought a house shortly after we got married. And man, I tell you, you think, oh, getting a reptile room is going to change everything. Boy, we filled that shit up real fast. Like, played, all kinds of games trying to organize it. And, it's full.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at the stuff that I'm raising up right now, and I'm like, oh, man, I'm going to need a lot of space.
Yep. You were here the other day when I was talking about, I need these baby racks that are going to go here, these baby racks that are going to go here. Oh, yeah, and then the 6-foot drawers are over there, and this.
In the
and
living room. And
oh, yeah, we're going to watch TV and hope that the retics don't get out.
Yeah, no big deal.
Dude, it's horrible. Like, and she's got a whole wall of geckos. It's kind of good because it kind of limits me. Like, I have no interest in doing a shit ton of snakes and a shit ton of clutches a year or anything like that. I'm just a small time. I keep some cool shit. I'll breed a couple clutches here and there. I'll try some side projects breeding, and the rest is just me talking shit. But I downsized a little bit. I sold a few jungles that I was like I slowed down with the jungles a lot because I have a lot of jungles. I still do.
Yeah,
but they're pretty though.
I appreciate it.
So wait, you kept venomous for a while?
Yeah.
What species did you enjoy working with?
I had a gaboon. I love that thing, but it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah,
the thing, but dude, it's just a gorgeous animal. But I worked with Aethris, So I had Clorechis, I had Squams, I had Ceratophora.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So that was, I'm trying to think. I had those. Those were really cool. I had a pair of red pygmy rattlesnake babies I bought off some dude out of his backpack at Hamburg years ago.
Oh my, classic Hamburg.
Right, exactly.
That was actually better. That was the show where I was meeting this other kid. We're like, you know what? We want a cobra now. Let's buy cobras. Kind of glad I did because I don't like shit that I can't control easily with a snake hook.
Yeah.
And so this guy had these baby red pygmy rattlesnakes just walking around his fucking backpack, and I took the money that I was going to buy a cobra with and bought those. But yeah, I think I like tree vipers. I like things like that. I had like I said, I had a gaboon viper. Those are gorgeous animals. Yeah, mostly Aethris. Any tree vipers, I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, I love, like, whenever I get the opportunity, I really want to get some Waggleri, the Waggler's pit vipers. Those things just like
awesome.
always have had a huge just like fascination for me, especially like I think it's the Sumatran locale where they're like the females are super black and they got like the white bands on them. I'm like
yeah, it's
in
just
love
ridiculous
with those things. They're so pretty, so cool. I just remember
I'm not tempted too often anymore. I live in New York. It's illegal. Back when I did it, yes, it was illegal. I was young and stupid, and this was also a different time in the hobby. Now it's funny. Now everybody, like anyone who keeps shit illegally now, it's all like a whole bunch of Jeff Lowe's from fucking
literally,
yeah,
literally.
It's all egos, like, and they gotta post about it on social media. And
Yep,
I'm like,
and then they
oh,
gotta free
God.
handle it and show everybody how cool they are.
Here's my thing with free handling, and it's just like other stuff. I'm like, look, what you do in your own house,
It's your own business.
do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't care. Like, but the moment you have to post on social media about it, that's when you're going to the other. Oh, this is just because you can. Stop it. Just stop free handling.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
And publicly, like I said, if you want to hold it in your own home, do whatever you want to do, but stop posting it on social media.
Literally, you're just doing it for attention.
Yeah, and that's what most of not all, but most of the guys keeping things illegally now are doing it for attention. And it's like, dude, back when I did it, I didn't do it for attention. Hell, I wasn't online back when I did it. It
Yep.
was just I had kept everything I felt like I could afford to keep at that time. You know, I wasn't spending a lot of money, and so I finally I had people wearing me down, so I finally said yes to a pair of Sidewinder rattlesnake babies. And then as soon as you pop the cork, you get stupid and you're just like, fuck it, now I'm doing one, I might as well do more.
Yeah.
I bought other stuff, but I never worked with anything I felt not in control with. You know, I knew a kid who bought a green mamba. Like, he was young and stupid.
Ugh.
Like, the fact that he's still alive is a miracle. And I was like, this is the shit you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. And you know, I remember going to Hamburg when I was younger and just like looking at all the different tables, and the people got like rhino vipers for like $150. I'm like, I got $150. I get to look at that. I was just like, I can't do it, because the second that I was like, yeah, you know what, I think I can hide that, then I would be like, okay, now I got to get ring calls and I got to get Waggler's pit vipers and copperheads and all this, and it would just be like, that'd be the end.
You go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
There's no coming back.
There's no coming back, because I love venomous snakes.
That's not true. I came back. I came out of the rabbit hole.
You're one of the few.
Well, I mean, being a homeowner and everything now, and I'm a very public persona, especially in the local reptile community, like, it's not worth it to me.
Yeah, when that switch of priorities gets flipped, you know, that's the rope being thrown down the rabbit hole for you to climb back out.
Yeah. When I moved to Maine, I wasn't allowed to have almost everything that I kept in Massachusetts, because Maine has got like the most absurd reptile regulations. I couldn't have any of my tarantulas. All tarantulas are illegal there until like 2 years ago. So I applied for permits. I was talking to the Fish and Wildlife Service up there. I was working with them to help them change their laws. And they're like, oh yeah, just apply for permits and we'll figure something out. So they knew who I was. They knew I was, not some idiot. And I had literally left all my illegal stuff in Massachusetts, because I was like, I don't want to get caught with this. I'm a very public figure in Maine. I was president of the Maine Herpetological Society. I was like, if I get caught with illegal stuff, it's going to look bad. And I applied for permits. And then they denied me the permits. I was like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm keeping whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
I try to do it the right way.
I've actually pissed people in New York off, because I've said I'm very public about the fact that I will not support changing the ban list. The problem New York has is that they've made it they're not even handing out permits anymore. You can't. There's no legal route to keep these things.
Yeah, same thing pretty much in New Hampshire and Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So, but there's people that are trying to push to change the laws and stuff, and I've told them, I said, I will not get behind anything that changes the list. Everything that's on that list should be permitted, and because of my past and being around it, I've seen what free buying of retics and free buying of large lizards does, and I don't care about the people I don't care about the people and their own safety. Honestly, it's the animal that suffers 9 times out of 10.
Most of the time.
That's very true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they get rid of it or they keep it like shit.
And then they kill it.
Yep.
So, but for the people that put the work in and have the experience, and there should be an avenue.
Yeah, I think that they should give you the opportunity to at least apply, show that you know what you're doing, and then have some sort of mentorship to be able to get there. Because in New England, it's like, nope, sorry. Aside from like Massachusetts, now you can get permits for monitor lizards if you can kind of prove that you're not an idiot.
Mm-hmm. But they will not give you permits for retics.
No retics, no anacondas, no afrox, none of that stuff.
Yeah, fuck afrox.
Dude, I remember going down to Venda show in the Poconos with Adam Harris.
Yep.
And he had this monster pair of afrox, and he was like, I gotta get rid of these things.
Gotta get rid of them.
I gotta get rid of these things. And on the way down, one of them just fucking pissed.
No.
And there was no place to stop
because
we were going through this back road.
Oh my god!
So that powerful ammonia was just like all through the van, and I'm just like, I'm sitting closest to all of it, and I'm like, hey, so I know there's no place to stop, but you should stop. I really don't care if you block traffic for a little while.
Just take out the afro. People will stop. I promise.
It's true.
It's the only species to make a legitimate attempt at my life.
Yeah.
We were taking pictures at my buddy Dan Liebel's, and I don't know if he's talking about getting back into it. But he was a longtime educator in New York.
Yeah.
So he had permits for all the big stuff, and any pictures you see with me with berms and retics, it's always at his place. And he's got this African rock python. So it was, I don't think it was it the first? No, it wasn't the first time I was up there taking pictures. It might have been like the second. So that's the thing you do when you go there. You take out big snakes, you put them on your shoulders, you get pictures. So he takes the afrock out. Its name's Rambo. And,
oh boy, that's your first warning.
He's like, listen, he's like, Rambo's usually pretty good when I'm drunk, and he had been drinking. So we put Rambo on my shoulders. We start taking pictures, and it was just, he gives me this warning when he first starts. He's like, listen, just don't let him get to the ground. If he gets to the ground, he's gonna feel like you're over him, and he's gonna come back up at you.
Yep.
Rambo's 9 feet, so it's not a fun bite.
Yeah.
So we put him on my shoulders. He starts taking pictures, and 30 seconds in, he starts trying to put his tail around the other, like throw his tail around my neck essentially, but to get to the other shoulder.
Yeah.
Kind of in that motion where it's like he's just uncomfortable. He's trying to grab onto the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in my idioticness, I just let him do it a little bit. He's like, he's an afrock. He's just trying to feel more comfortable. That's what they do. Well, he throws the tail around my other shoulder, and then he cinches.
Oh, no.
No.
So, and the thing you understand about Dan is, when you give him your phone, he's going to take 7,000 pictures because he doesn't know what one you're going to like.
Oh.
So he's sitting there clicking away with my phone.
Oh.
So I'm like, he's starting to get kind of tight. He's like, oh, no, just hold on. It's an afrock. I'm like,
you're cool.
Like, my eye starts popping a little bit. No, he's getting kind of tight. Dan's like, all right, puts the phone down. He comes over. He puts his hands on the snake's body, like as if he's gonna pull it. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Oh, this is real. Let's go in the other room."
Oh no!
So we go in the other room, and he gets literally as I'm starting to see stars because he has my neck because I let him have my neck because I'm an idiot. I start seeing the stars. He just gets them off my neck. Now he wraps Dan's hand like super hard.
Oh shit!
Trying to kill his hand. Luckily, he's not biting through this entire thing. But yeah, he's wrapped around Dan's hand. So on my old phone, there's a picture. The last picture before Dan stopped taking pictures is hilarious because you see the fear in my eyes.
Oh no!
And then we have pictures of Dan with this 9-foot afrock just completely tied a knot around his hand, and his hand's like purple.
Oh man!
So we get the snake back in the cage, and then it decides to start striking with the thunder of God. I'm just like, man, thank God this thing didn't strike this whole time, because that would have sucked.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I was
outside of the
never in any
enclosure.
danger. I was with two other. Dan was the one with me, but there was two other very big guys that were in the other room.
Mm-hmm.
They were laughing. I'll never forget. They were actually laughing, and we get the snake back in the cage, and we kind of do the, whew, like that was fun.
That was close.
And,
Yeah.
we go in the other room laughing a little bit, and they're laughing, watching something on TV, and Dan, in very much Dan's way, just walks in. It's like, well, Rambo tried to kill Scott, and they're like, no, he didn't. Like, no, he really did try to kill him. So, to this day, I don't know what the hell that damn snake was on, but
He just wanted a piece, man. That's all. Just a little bite.
yeah, he bit another friend of ours like a week later, and after that, Dan never let anyone else hold that snake again or deal with that snake.
Whew.
Yeah, good old Afrox.
Every 6 months or so, I'll get like a 10 o'clock at night picture from Dan of Rambo saying Rambo misses you.
That's classic.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he loves to do that shit. I hate when I get those pictures.
Oh man.
But that's the story behind anytime Afrox are brought up, I say fuck Afrox.
Oh gosh.
Terrible.
That's funny. It's
funny now.
So
I'll tell you what, it changed my perspective on large snakes and how strong they are. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
Every time I've brought up the danger of large constrictors, the large constrictor community always gets pissed at me. But I'm like, listen, you don't get it. Like, I understand what you're saying, and you're putting this video up with this little kid trying to show how not dangerous they are.
Mm-hmm.
I got news for you. If you're not in control of the snake and it's just draped over your kid, that's a very dangerous situation.
Yeah,
so.
things can go from one way to another really quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as terrible as those videos and stuff can be, I mean, like you see, there was a video going around Facebook for a little while. This I don't know where in the world it was, but it looked like a street performer or somebody who had maybe like a 6.5, 7 foot retic, and he was like swinging it around or whatever, and he kind of picks it up. He's got it behind the head, and the snake has like one coil around his neck.
I remember that.
And he can't even walk to the next walkway, and he just passes out because it had such a grip on his neck. And it's like, man,
it takes very very little pressure on the right spot.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's been times where I'm holding Janet, my big scrub python, and she's not doing anything, unusual. She's just hanging out right on my shoulders. But like, I've had times where she'll loop a coil up on either side of my neck and just start squeezing a little bit, and I'm like, whew. Okay, got to pull her off because, you start losing things a little bit. You start seeing stars a little. You're like, okay, that's not cool. She wasn't even like wrapped around the front or anything. She just is, they're so strong.
Yeah, I had Dan's anaconda do that to me. Just draped over my shoulders. It wasn't even trying, but because it was Dan's snake and because I had flashbacks, I'm like, But his anacondas are sweeties, so like I wasn't worried. It was that you could tell the difference. It wasn't squeezing; it was just holding.
Yeah,
man, that Afrock was trying to fucking kill me.
Oh man! So I'm curious to know. You have a bunch of jungle stuff. That I mean, your jungle stuff is phenomenal. Do you have any other like crazy Morelia stuff that you're working with that you're really excited about, or is there a project that you've kind of had your eye on Morelia wise that you want to get into?
Morelia wise, no, just jungles.
Yeah,
that's it. I have Liasis, I have Savus.
Yes,
Savus are awesome.
I think I'll breed them at some point. I think right now I'm just gonna keep them together a lot more. I think it's a timing issue for me. With them. They're certainly old enough now. The first couple of years, it was like, they're not quite there. But I could tell like the female acts differently at certain times of the year, and I think I'm just a little bit late on it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a timing issue with the Savus. I got the Savus. I have the white lips, but I hate the white lips. Not really. I love white lips. I just try to tell people that don't go by their all the social media pictures and fall in love with them because
Yeah.
Sometimes they suck.
Yeah, I
It's
can't tell you
very
how many
true.
people call our shop and they're like, I saw this iridescent snake. Do you guys have any of those? I'm like, if you don't know what it is, you don't want one. You don't. Because you want it to be your best friend, and it does not want to be your best friend.
Yeah.
Even when they're tame, I mean, they're higher maintenance snakes. They poop a lot,
Yep.
a lot more.
Yeah.
Their metabolism's higher.
And they're strong, man.
Yeah, they're pretty strong and they're fast. And I have one tame one. I have one that's not tame. Even though Chris Foley likes to come over and get drunk and take that one out.
Chris doesn't count, okay? He takes a bite like a
Yeah,
champ.
Chris is a close friend of mine, and like every time he'll try to visit maybe once a year, every other year. Last time he got him and his girlfriend at the time got here at 3 a.m. or something. He's like, crack a beer. All right, let's go upstairs, take her out. I'm like, oh, really?
Jeez.
Really? And the best part of that is she never fucking bites him until she finally did this last time. She finally got him, but there was like multiple times where we're drunk and he takes her out and she wouldn't bite. I'm like, I'm telling you, she sucks. Well, I'm sorry. It's actually a boy. That's why it turned out to be a boy. That was part of my sadness towards breeding them right now. But
yeah.
I think it depends on what the other one is. The other one I thought the other one I never really had sexed. I'm hoping it ends up being a female actually, but this one I thought it was sold to me as a female. I never double checked because I trusted the source. You know, then 6 years, 7 years, 8 years later, I pair them up and they're doing the opposite what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
They weren't fighting. I mean, I was literally on the Facebook Messenger with Ryan Young talking to him and showing him video, and he's like, "Yeah, that's definitely not a girl. That's a male." And it's like, it was borderline territorial or borderline extremely anxious to breed. It didn't bite. It didn't attack. It was just real pushy.
Yeah.
So I thought the other one was a male. I'm hoping I was wrong, and that one's actually the female. Otherwise, it is what it is.
Yep. Yeah. There's nothing worse than that happening, especially on a project that you want to put that time into, and then you're like, oh well,
that was a mistake.
That's done.
Dude, I've got like 18 years altogether of experience keeping white lips. Because that was my first. That was my first real exotic. Like I had a ball python, a boa, and an IJ within a short amount of time, and then I walked in the pet store and I'm still this asshole. I was like, I need something different. I need something nobody else has.
Yeah.
Right? So he breaks out the old list. I can't remember whose list it was, but it's, some pet supplier. It's like, oh, it's got a white lip python on there for $150. I go home, I look at pictures online and in the books. I'm like, fuck, that's a gorgeous snake. Yeah, well, at the time, I thought everything was a captive-born baby.
Oh, boy.
I was like, oh, everything comes as a baby. So it'll be a baby.
Nope.
Man, he calls me when it got there, and he goes, man, this thing's big. The funny thing is, it actually wasn't big for what I've seen some people get their northerns up to, but for what they probably should be, it was big. It was a 6.5 foot
beefy,
angry female. I mean, angry. I mean, it never learned to not strike at glass.
Oh boy.
It would sit there for hours if you were in the room and just strike. And that thing only ate birds too.
Oh,
Took months to figure that out. Tried everything. I had my buddy at the pet store at the time. I said, hey, take the snake, try to figure out what it is. He tried everything. Every mammal they had in that store, gerbil, hamster, didn't eat it. So one day he walked into the bird room and said, huh. And he calls me that day and says, hey, I got good news and bad news. Good news is your snake ate. The bad news is it was a bird. And I'm actually pissed. I got that thing switched over to rats, but she was a chainsaw.
Yeah.
But since then, I have a lot of time keeping them. But this was literally the first time I ever had a pair or two that I tried pairing up, and seeing the one that I thought was a female act decisively like a male, and the other one I'm not sure yet. So now I'm like, maybe this project is dead. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. Hopefully, it's not dead for you.
I mean, I'll still keep them. I mean,
yeah.
the one is completely tame, like 100% tame. So like that's so rare that like that snake will always. I pried that out of a a local guy's hands. Because he was the only other local person that had white lips that I've known.
Mm-hmm.
And he had this one. He's like, dude, this thing's perfectly tame. Like, I went over his house once to see it. And it was in shed, and it didn't even offer to bite. And I'm like, I kept bothering him. One day he sees me at White Plains. He goes, are you still interested? And I said, well, that's a stupid question. Just how much is this going to cost me?
Yeah, right, exactly.
I've been real lucky with the prices of these animals that I've gotten. And, it's just a stupid price. And I'm like, yes, I'll take it.
Yep. Done deal.
My original Moluccan python, if people knew how much I paid for that, it was just pennies.
Mm-hmm.
Just lucky timing and luck the right people.
Yep.
But
I'm looking at Rob, and I'm like, do you want to ask how much he paid
I don't want to know. I just want to know how much a baby's going to be.
Babies are going to be $1 million. But
I'm cool with that because whenever people ask me about Janet, they're like, how much would you sell your Barneck scrub python for? I'm like, I won't. They're like, if I offered you $100,000 right now, you wouldn't take it. I was like, nope, no less than $1 million. Untaxed.
I've been offered a lot of money for my Moluccans.
Yep.
It's like, no, like, you don't
Not
understand.
interested.
And then I have people every month put me on the list if you ever have babies. I'm like, you don't understand. First off, I don't do lists. Second off, there's never going to be. You're talking about if I actually had some, letting some go.
Exactly.
Yeah, right,
exactly.
That's the first problem.
Right.
That implies I'm letting some leave my house.
Yep. Because that first whole clutch is all mine, bitches. It's mine.
We're slowly approaching a decade on this project, and if I actually get lucky enough to have some, I don't think anything's leaving.
I am right there with you because I've been raising Janet for like 5 years now, and I just started pairing her up, and people are like, oh, let me know when you produce some babies. I'm like, you think any of those first babies are going to be for sale? You're lying.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm actually I've come close to the point where I might actually look at buying some juveniles again from somebody, but
yeah, those are just like high up on my list of stuff that I want to get, and I'm in love with scrub pythons. Every time that I hold them, I'm just like, these are the coolest freaking snakes on the planet. They're so damn cool.
Yeah, the first time I held a Moluccan was ICAS, the first and only ICAS they had, and Owen McIntyre and Chris had Moluccans at the time. And Owen's like, you ever held a scrub? And I'm like, I guess I haven't. And he's like, here. And he puts a Moluccan around my arm, and it was love at first sight.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And then one of the people that was there had a male Moluccan, and it was I saw him at White Plains like less than a year later. He's like, hey, you still looking for a Moluccan? I said, is the sky blue?
Literally.
And he's like, well, I'm looking to sell my male. And like I said, I said, how much is this going to cost me? Because I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
And
right.
The price was pennies on what it is now. And I said, I have no idea where it's going to go.
But
said,
yes.
Yep.
When can we meet up?
And that was Midas. So that was years ago. And then the female is funny. I got Midas because I love the species and I just wanted one.
Mm-hmm.
Never any intention of even thinking about breeding them. And then someone local in New York, he had some not great luck with Moluccans, I think, a couple times. And then he had one that died, I think, and then he bought a pair, and the male died. So he messaged me. He says, look, I'm going to sell my female. I'm not having much luck. I really want you to have it. I want you to have it. Because I know you'll care about this thing. I want you to have it.
Yeah.
Dang.
I said, he told me how much. It was a fair price, but I had no room. I mean, literally no room, or money at the time. So I'm laying in bed with my girlfriend. I'm like, oh God, look at this thing, yada yada. Well, come September, or I think it was September. She's like, I got to go drive up. Well, she was being real vague about it, but she's like, I got to drive up to Syracuse to get your birthday Christmas present. It's a surprise. Like, what the fuck is she getting me? I'm like, it's either an animal. I'm like, it can't be an animal. We have no room.
Yeah.
There's nothing I want.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? I come home from work that night, and I knew exactly who. I said, you went and saw Clay. And she's like, yeah, there it was. Persephone, female Moluccan scrub.
Damn.
The funny thing is, that was my birthday Christmas present. I posted pictures. Everyone's like, dude, you need to put a ring on it. And now she's my wife. So there you go.
Boom. Boom. That's a secret
awesome.
to success right there.
It's actually the worst thing when you have I mean, Rob, I know your significant other's into it.
Yep.
It's you fucking enable each other. It's a problem.
Emily's the biggest enabler. She's like, just buy it. Every time I see a scrub python, she's like, just buy it. Just get it. Just get it. I'm like, I don't have any room. I don't. This. She's like, no. You need it. And I'm like, maybe I need it. Okay, I need it.
Dude, I sent her. I'll never forget. I sent her pictures of these frogs once. I saw them randomly. I was at work scrolling like King Snake or one of the old sites.
Yeah.
And I was like, I found these frogs. Not expensive at all. And I was like, look, these things are fucking cool. So I sent her pictures. of them, and she goes, "What the fuck do you want from me?" She goes, "They're cute, and they're reptiles or amphibians and animals. Like it meets all my criteria."
I got them.
Yeah.
She's like, "Just buy them." I was like, "All right." I don't know what did you expect me to say? No. So we bought each other a million fucking animals now. We've actually slowed down now. There's just no room to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, man. So we're winding down on this. One question that I wanted to ask before we wrap things up is, what is a project? It doesn't have to be one of your own, just like something that you've seen going on in the reptile community. It doesn't have to be Morelia. It doesn't have to be anything in particular. Is there any project or like species or mutation or anything going on in reptiles or amphibians, really, that's just got you excited? Something that you saw and you're like, yes, that needs to fucking happen.
Well, no mutations need to happen, so I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. I hate to stay within the realm, but bowling is a big one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger than that, I think, is the last 2 years or so success seeing some Halmaheras born.
Yeah, Tracy, man.
That's impressive. And then Moluccans. I mean, I don't know. A lot of it falls in that realm, the Somalia realm.
Yes.
That's stuff that's just this. That's purely speaking pythons and what I know. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of other things that need to happen, but
one genus to rule them all.
Yeah, the Somalia stuff is the stuff that really needs to happen. So
I agree. I'm right there with you.
Yep, I can't deny that. I'm excited by that stuff. So
cool. So thank you so much, man, for coming and checking us out.
Yes,
we appreciate
really appreciate it.
And where can people find your stuff if they want to look you up and see more about what you're doing? Where can they find you?
I'm pretty lame. I don't have a business or a business name or anything cool like that. So you just search my name. You'll find me on Facebook. I write blogs on Medium. I haven't done that in a while, but I gotta get back to that. And most of my pictures are posted on my Instagram, which is New York Herp_Revolution. That's mostly it.
Hell to the
I'm pretty boring.
Nah, man, I love your Instagram feed. It's honestly one of my favorites to actually see when it pops up. I'm like, yes, those are cool things.
It's true.
That's good because I appreciate yours as well, especially your memes and.
Hell yeah!
Your meme game is strong.
The meme king.
No, not the meme king.
I've posted a lot lately, but man, Rob's a whole nother level.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
But no, I appreciate you guys having me on. I don't know what the fuck you were thinking having me as your first guest. You want to start the bar that low, but
no, man, I'm so about it. People need to know what's up.
That's right.
I'm not someone that says what's up. I'm just another guy.
Oh man,
cool. So
man.
Sounds good. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good, guys.
Awesome.
Sweet, dude. Take care.
Take care.
You too, guys. Later.
Bye.
See ya.